Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Angelika's Journal. My name is Angelika, and on this channel, I do things that interest me and just things that I do. Um, Today, we're going to do the weeding. I did say I was going to show you how I weed. I do not know all the weeds. Some of them keep coming back, and then you get to know those. But I don't know all of them. So I just wanted to show you. This is where I planted my forget-me-nots. It's the Chinese version. They're a little different. I think they're taller or something. I'm not sure. But anyway, so that's what's planted there. But if you look at what's there, it does not look like it. So we're going to get rid of the weeds. To start off, I always start with the weeds that I know are weeds. So this I know is a weed. There you go. I don't know. Hopefully it's in camera. That is definitely a weed. So I take all those out, toss them to the side, and then later I'll pick them up. All right. I think, oh, there's one more here. And they come out pretty easy. They're not difficult. Take out all these pine cones. Actually, for this I don't need, for that I need the gloves. For this I don't need the gloves. All kinds of pine cones and furry stuff. Yes, I'm sorry, but I gotta do my weeding. They're yelling at me because I chased them away when I came to sit here. All right, so that's number one. Number two, this is also a weed. If I can get one out to show you. There, that's another weed. Hopefully you can see that. So all of these I will then pull out because I know they are weeds. And again, just toss it to the side. Also, grass. See, there's a big clump of grass right here. Grass, get rid of it. See, it's probably because of these guys are so big. Got to go with the trimmer. Okay, so let's get rid of these other weeds. And you can put your music on, just take your time. Enjoy the process. Curse at the weeds if you feel the need. Okay, another one I pull is this one. This is a tree. And what I'm thinking is that might be what is over there. That I thought it was a raspberry. It might be this tree. They're everywhere, this tree. And I always end up pulling them about this height. 6 leaves. So the first 2 leaves are never the true leaves. So if you're going to pull anything, wait until beyond the 2 leaves. Then you know the true shape of the leaves and what it's going to be. Oh, look at there, Mr. Ant. Go away. Yeah, so that's a tree. That can go. More grass. More of these weeds. This is the other weed that I showed you the first time around. Okay, the next one, if I can get it with the root, are these guys. And everybody knows what these are. Clovers. That's probably the only weed I know the name of. Those are clovers. They're weeds. Get rid of them. Clovers. Oops, I got something else in here. This looks like a pansy. Well, the pansy doesn't belong in here anyway, so you can always save it if you want to keep it. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. These are all weeds too. Because I know what's supposed to be here and it's not that shape of leaf. Even this is a weed. And actually this one, when it gets bigger, I believe is the one that gets prickly. But anyways, all right, keep going. And this is, oh shoot, I think that might have been my good plant. I wonder if I can put it back in. I guess we'll find out eventually. But even if you do take out a good plant, don't worry too much about it, because once it establishes itself, it's going to spread. It's going to go into the other ones because they're all interconnected. So they're going to start spreading over there, those over there, this one to the sides. Like it's all going to spread, and you're going to have to train to get rid of those that are in here and get rid of these that are in there, if that's what you want, a nice clean look. Okay, another one that I know is a weed is this one. This is also a weed. Now, this one does not belong here. Okay, so let me show you. Once you do all the ones that, there's still more for me to take out of here that I know are weeds. But just for this video, I'm just trying to show you what I do and the process I go through to weed my beds. You take out what you do know. And let's say I don't know if these belong here. I know they don't, but let's, for the video's sake, say I don't know. So I'm taking out everything that I do know, and which just comes from experience every year. Like when you buy soil or sheep manure or whatever, you will get weed seeds in it. Plus I have my bird feeders here. So those seeds are going to end up all over. It could be that this is from one of their seeds. Because when they go for the water or they fly over, you know, they just, like I found a bunch of seeds in the water fountain. I guess they don't empty their mouth before they drink. Isn't that funny? All right. So anyways, this is what I do. Now this is not a weed, but it's an invasive flower. Morning Glory. I had it over there one year, and I tried to drop the seeds. I don't know even if it made seeds or if it dropped or what, but like I have it all over my garden now because I upcycle the soil, right? So this is Morning Glory. I do not want it. It's not a weed, but it's an invasive flower. Just like mint. Mint can be invasive, so you always have it in a planter. Because if not, if you have it in the garden, it's going to take over. Even if you have it in a pot, the roots will come out of the pot, it'll go back up to the top of the soil and make another plant next to the pot. Peppermint, spearmint, all the mints, you have to put it in a separate container in an isolated part of the garden so it doesn't spread, because they will spread. All right, I keep getting distracted. Okay, so now you take your cell phone. The one there is my other cell phone that I never use. This is the one I use for phone calls. Now with this one, I'll go on to Google, and then I know I planted the forget-me-nots. So I will search okay, so I clicked on the photo. All right. Then, oh, that photo's not good. You want a photo that shows you the leaves. This is West Coast Seed Company. Yeah, you can go to seed companies or you can go on images. Yeah, none of these really show the leaves. Okay, so let's click on images and find one that shows the leaves. Here we go. Chinese forget-me-not. And then you try to zoom in. Now it is hard right now because the sun is coming around. So how about this one? Yeah, this one will show you. All right, so that's what I do. I look for a picture of the forget-me-not or calendula or poppies, whatever is planted in that pot. You Google it, you look at the leaves. So this one has elongated oval leaves. That's like this one. Oh, this one too. And this one, and this one. And there's some back here. These all look just like the photo. Some don't have the tip at the end of the leaf, but some do. So I'm going to assume that's what I want here. So now you play the game. One of these things does not belong with the others, right? So we know this is no. So shake off the dirt, gone. Shake off the dirt, gone. Shake off the dirt, gone. And that's all you do. Uh-oh. Now, by pulling that weed, I actually pulled one of the plants, but the roots are still there. So what I'm going to do is with my finger make a hole, put that in, put the soil around it, and then hope for the best. But I do have a lot of them, so I'm not too worried. Once the roots get established, they'll just spread in the whole compartment. So that doesn't look like it. That doesn't look like forget-me-not. And now that you're weeding it to the point that the only thing left is the forget-me-not. Now every time you come around and you see something that doesn't belong there, you just pull it right away. That way you're not having to sit like this and weed every single one repeatedly throughout the year. Once you do this in the spring, because in the spring I just leave it because I'm busy, enriching the soil, planting my seedlings and all that. So weeds are going to come up. But then you take the time to go through every single one. It may take a whole day depending how many containers you have. Get rid of all the ones that don't belong, because I like my forget-me-nots here, my calendula there, my poppies there. Same with everything else in the garden. Everything has its place. So, so once you weed it out, you know what belongs there because that's going to be the majority. Like these are going to be all over in here. So I know anything that doesn't look like that, I got to pull it, right? And so when I go to water, if I see something coming up, I'll pull it. When I walk around my garden or I go to feed my birds along this path, if I see anything in the tomatoes or anything over here, I'll pull it. Constantly keep your eyes on your garden. Because weeds are really strong. And if you don't repeatedly pull those weeds, then they will take over your garden. And whatever you planted is pointless then to plant. Right? This one I hesitate to pull because I think this might be the Elysium. And I love Elysium. I don't know if I planted any this year. So what you can do, which I might do, is leave the Elysium until it's more established. And then I'll dig it up and put it in a pot. The only thing is when I do that, wherever its root system is, I may destroy the forget-me-not that's in there. So if I'm going to do it, I got to make sure that the forget-me-not has filled in here enough that if I destroy the ones that are here by the Elysium, I'm not going to lose the whole thing. And there you go. And no matter how careful you are, when you weed, you are going to lose some of your plants because you're disturbing the roots, but that's okay. Oh, there, I pulled another forget-me-not. Plant it back in and hope for the best. Got some sticks in here. You can tell the birds were in here. I didn't put the sticks there. The sticks that are underneath are not coming up, so it was the birdies. All right, well, I think I'm gonna, oh yeah, the dandelions over there. I have my shovel for the dandelions. You gotta go in, loosen the roots, and then pull it out. So I have this here. I use the shovel. And with that, I will put my gloves on because even like here, I had to poke a hole and put it back in because I pulled it by accident. You may want to wear gloves for that reason. Okay, calendula, what are their leaves looking like? Let's check it out. Alright, it's on images. Let's find a picture that shows the leaves. This one shows the leaves. Again, because I'm outside, it's distorted. It's hard to see. Okay, here we go. Skinny, long, and somewhat wavy. I don't see any of them. Oh, here. Nope. Long, narrow, long, round, and kind of wavy. It has a crease down the middle of the leaf, like a fold. Yeah, I don't see that here. So when that's the case, I'll look for another photo. Oh, here. I think I found one. This looks like it might be. Yeah, the leaves have a fold down the middle. Okay, so there's one. This is not the same, and this is not the same. I'm sure there's some more in that area. And then I have to do the poppies, and I think the poppies are all along the front. because this planter was at a slight angle before. I had a 2x2 under the back legs, and then I decided I didn't like that it was an angle, because when you water, all the seeds go to one side. And it took me, I think, a week or two, and then I decided to just pull it forward, because I guess there the soil goes downwards into that area. So I took the 2x2 off, and then I moved the planter forward until it was level. But by then, these seeds probably already sprouted, you know what I mean? So, see, here's another one. It looks like an alyssum. See, that's another thing. What you can do is then Google alyssum and see if the leaves are right. If it is right, then you know that's alyssum. I've planted alyssum, that's why I know the cluster of flowers. But yeah, I'll have to Google it. But that's basically what you do when you weed. And as you're doing this, you learn what the different weeds are that you have in your garden. And then, you know, when you walk around, oh yeah, that one, I did it over there, that one was a weed, and you pull it. But it definitely helps to know what you're planting where and what they're supposed to look like. Because then if you know what they're supposed to look like, oh, there's a little birdie. I don't know if you can see. I don't want to move. Yeah, so if you know what it's supposed to look like, then you know what you're looking for, and anything else you know you can pull. So it's just, you know, trial and error. You learn as you go, and definitely use your phone. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Birdie. Definitely use your phone. Put it on images, and then Google, you know, there are apps out there, and I did have one. I think it was called Leaf ID. I'm not sure. Don't quote me. But it was wrong twice. I purposely did, I forget what it was. It was a house plant I did it with. And I did one that was still pretty young, in that it had its leaves, but they were smaller in size, and it got it wrong. And then another time I did another one, it said it was a weed, and it was not. You know, it just wasn't working, so I deleted the app. But there are apps out there. I tried to download one last night, but it said you only had 7 days free trial, and then it was so and so every month, you know, so much money. I don't know, $10 or something. And I'm like, no, I'm not paying for something that I can just Google. Why? It's wasting money. So, anyways, there you go. Oops, another grass. If you want, you can always get an app and pay for it, depending on how much you garden. And you know, how you could always just get it for like 2-3 months and then cancel. And you know, you learn about the different weeds, and then once you know what's what, you know, it kind of sets you up for success, right? All right, well, I'm gonna let you go here. That's everything I got. Today's Friday, so it's the weekend, so I'll see you on Monday. I don't know if it's going to be a gardening video. We're supposed to get rain, and I still have lots to catch up on in the garden. So I don't know if Monday's going to be a garden video, or if it's going to be one of my craft videos, whether it be sewing or the junk journaling is almost ready for me to start doing videos on. There's so much to learn. Anyways, I will see you on the next one. And remember, do what makes you happy, and everything else will fall into place. All right, bye for now.